Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. It's Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. It's your number one tennis betting podcast and your YouTube show, brought to you in association with Bet Rivers, your hometown sportsbook. We're looking at the matches over in Asia on the Asian swing. We have some tournaments in Beijing and Tokyo this week. We've got 4 matches that were taken the fancy of our senior ATP Talk handicapper, Shang Calvert. Before I introduce you, Sean, please hit the subscribe button. I say it all the time, but please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Give us a like, be notified of every time any bit of new, fresh content drops on the channel. You'll be notified. Good morning, Sean. We've been a little bit unlucky. We went a bit mad, betting mad on the early show. 4 bets, only 1 winner, but a bit unlucky.
A bit.
Well,
I mean,
we
last sort of 5 days, we've been absolutely robbed, to be honest, is how I would describe it. I mean, going back to last week, the Zverev injury. This week we've had Watanuki setting a break up, got injured, couldn't see the match out, although he did finish it, but in no condition to compete from a setting a break up. Mochizuki setting a break up. Shapovalov minus 3,333 to win the opening set against Altmaier. Didn't serve it out. Then he had 3 set points in the next game, didn't take any of them, got broken again, and then jacked it in. Humbert 4-1 up in set 1. Didn't see that out. Lost in straight sets. Medvedev was probably the worst one. This is why I'm so annoyed, because this has just happened. Medvedev. I mean, I'm used to people letting me down in tennis betting. That, it happens. But I don't know whether you saw the Medvedev match, but he had a set point on his own serve in the tie-break. Decent serve. Got a mid-court return. Landed around about the service line. He could put it anywhere. Given the power that he's got. Easy put away. Decides to play a drop shot. For some inexplicable reason, and he plays it on the side where Rune's standing. I mean, Rune had time to light up his cigar, have a couple of drags, come to the net, and then pop it in. And then he played very passively on the next couple of points, lost the set, and then gave up. So, yeah, that's where we're at so far. We did get a winner with Fuchsovich, but that was painful as well. He nearly made an absolute mess of that from a very, very strong position. But yeah, these things are sent to test you in tennis betting. You don't always get what you deserve. I think we certainly haven't got what we've deserved so far. Maybe the luck will come in Beijing, where we've got a couple of outrights there and some bets for today.
Yep, we've got 4 bets today over in Beijing. But a good thing about tennis betting is you have a bad day, the variance doesn't last, and you've got an opportunity to get it back the following day, because there's so many different tennis matches available on the Bet Rivers website and on the app that you've got a good chance. We're still winning on the year, 9.78 units up in profit with just now. What have we got? Just under 2 months?
Season 6 weeks, I think, yeah.
6 weeks. Well, it's still in profit, and hopefully in profit again for a 3rd or 4th successive year that we'll be doing these shows. Okay, let's move on to the business at hand. We've got 4 matches we are going to discuss, and our first match in Beijing. Now, the action in Beijing tomorrow starts at 11 o'clock Eastern time. So it's 11 o'clock in the evening tonight. So make sure you head across to the BetRivers website, download the app if you haven't done so already. And if you do have a bet on any of these matches that Sean is going to suggest, you'll be able to live stream the match as well, so you can bet live and watch live with Bet Rivers. So 11 o'clock start tonight, so make sure you get across nice and early. Now, we have our first match, is the match between Alexander Zverev and Lorenzo Sonego. Now, the German number 2 seed is a heavy favourite, he's minus 560. Lorenzo Sonego is plus 390. The spread here is 3.5, and the total is 22.5. Now, there is a whole host of different markets available on this match. But the interesting thing from this match here is the head-to-head. Now, that's really the reason why Alexander Zverev is such a heavy favourite. He leads 5-0 in the head-to-head. They met this year in Halle on grass. Zverev come through 7-6 in the final tie-break. He also come through 7-6 in Halle again in 2024. So he has got a 5-0 winning record, but they have been quite close matches. He hasn't had it all his own way, and some close sets in this match. Zverev is in a bit of a bad run of form since the US Open second round.
Yeah, he's in terrible form. I mean, Sonego should be fancying this. The form that Zverev's in, the mood that he's in, it's low. And the manner of his defeats to Fritz and de Minaur at Laver Cup, that must be worrying for him and his team. And it gives Sonego some hope despite the 0-5 head-to-head. Because if you look at that head-to-head, Zverev was 5-3 up against Fritz, and he's now lost the last 6 against Fritz head-to-heads. He was 8-2 against de Minaur in their head-to-head, and easily beaten by de Minaur in Laver Cup. So Sonego will be looking at that and thinking, well, I only lost in a final set tiebreak to this guy, this summer on the grass when Zverev was playing really well, by the way, and now Zverev's in this funk. And is he fit? Doesn't look fit physically or mentally to me at the minute. I mean, Sonego should be thinking like that. Who knows whether he is, but he should be thinking, right, I've got a real chance of finally getting a win over Zverev, because he's been pretty close on a couple of occasions. And Zverev's had that back injury as well that affected him during the US Open. He said, just before this tournament, he said, after the US Open, I didn't play for 2 weeks. I didn't do anything for 2 weeks. I had 2 injections. It's holding up well so far. I hope it continues to do well. Doesn't sound overly convincing. It doesn't seem like it's doing well. Something's wrong. If you look at the head-to-head, I said Minaur, Zverev, previously Fritz Zverev, they were good head-to-heads. And if he's fit physically, he should be winning those matches. But doesn't seem fit physically. Doesn't seem fit mentally. And there's a clear angle of attack here for me. Sonego's been close on a few occasions against Zverev, and he's taken the opening set in 2 of their last 3 meetings. And that's Sonego. He has that. I've talked about him before. He has that. He doesn't like pressure. He likes showing up as the underdog and just having a swing. And this is what he's done against Zverev. He's won the opening set, and then he's thought, oh, hang on a minute, I can win this. He's ended up losing. And also when he's faced top 10 opponents, Sonego, he's either won the opening set or lost it in a tiebreak on 5 of the last 6 occasions that he's played top 10 players. So he's starting very well. He's starting confidently. He's starting with no pressure. He's having a swing. And a lot of the time he's been he's either won the opening set or he's been very, very close to it. So given that Zverev's coming from Laver Cup in a real funk, because he's played previously in Laver Cup really well. He's got a very good record in Laver Cup, Zverev. This time, nothing. Not even a set. Okay, Fritz has kind of dominated him in the last 5 or 6 times in terms of the results, but de Minaur certainly hasn't. And he lost very easily to de Minaur. So something's wrong. It's either mentally, because he talked about this a couple of months ago when he was saying, I'm not getting any joy from anything, don't want to really be on a tennis court. He said that a couple of months ago around about Wimbledon sort of time. Not a lot has changed since then. Lost to Felix. Again, another player who he's had a very, very, very good head-to-head against. Felix lost to him at the US Open. It's just not looking good for him right now. He's never made a final here in Beijing, so it's not like he's come into a tournament where he's got great memories. So I think the plus 265 that you're getting with Bet Rivers here about Sonego winning the opening set is definitely the way to go. No Milak at the minute. He'll probably win sets 2 and 3, but I think you've got to take the value. You've got to go for a big price, I think, with Sonego. The 0-5 head-to-head, it's either going to go the same way that it already has, or Sonego is going to take his opportunity. I think this is an opportunity for him.
Now, this match starts tomorrow morning, 7:30 Eastern time, an early start tomorrow morning. So you've got a bit of time after the video drops. There'll be about 40 different markets available on this match. But the market that Sean likes is Sonego to win the first set. He has won the first set in 2 of their previous meetings. And he's up against Alexander Zverev, who's probably in the worst form in any of those 5 previous leads, 5-0 against the Italian. So that's our first bet. Is that our first official play?
Yeah, I think it's decent value based on the way that Zverev is shaping up at the minute, physically and mentally.
Our second match also sees a heavy favourite and also sees someone with a very commanding head-to-head. It's Alex de Minaur against Yunchaokete. 2-0 is the head-to-head record for the Aussie, number 3 seed this week, and he's a heavy favourite to win this match. He's minus 530 with Bet Rivers. Boo is plus 370, spread 4.5, total is 20.5. We've got the oversets, we've got some set betting, and there's a whole host of loads of other markets available on the Bet Rivers website. This match starts at 1 a.m. Eastern time, the early hours of Friday morning. They're 2-0 head-to-head, both of them this year. One of them in Washington, de Minaur won 6-4, 6-4, and also one in Miami. Sorry, he won in Washington 7-5, 7-6, 6-2, and he won in Miami 6-4, 6-4. So 2 wins for the Aussie, but that was in the part of the season where he was playing some great tennis. But at the end of the year, he has been one to complain about the long schedules, and he has admitted by his own admission that he's rather tired at this moment in time.
And he hasn't got a great record on the Asian swing, de Minaur, either. This is a chance for Boo. I mean, when they've met in the past, the opening set has been close. Wouldn't be surprised if it was again. He's not thrashed him. 7-6. All right, he's won all 4 sets they've played, but they've all been pretty competitive. The opening set, particularly in their last one, went to sort of 7-5 in the opening set. It's not like he's he's hammered him. De Minaur playing Boo, and this is a very different situation. You know, Boo's at home now. What's De Minaur got left for this Asian swing? He's just played the Laver Cup again. You know, Boo is going to be much better acclimatized to the time zone, to the conditions. Played last week in Hangzhou, very unlucky there as well. Another bit of bad luck for us. Lost in a final set tiebreak. Haven't had 2 match points against Shang, but he's certainly by far the more acclimatized to the conditions and, as I said, the time zone. And if we look at what he did here last year, Boo, I know it was last season, but it still shows you what he can do in these conditions when he's playing at home. You know, 3-1 win-loss, service points won and return points won total of 105, and that was in 4 matches against Shang, Jerry Shang, Musetti, Rublev, and Sinner. So the level that he can play, the heights that he can reach on this Asian swing are very, very high indeed. And from a De Minaur point of view, you know, he's only played here in Beijing once. That was in 2023. Won one, lost one. I think the one he won was, if I remember rightly, was a real epic match against Andy Murray that went to a final set tiebreak and he lost to Medvedev. But he's only played here that one time, and he's lost 6 of his last 9 matches on the Asian swing, De Minaur. 5 of them as favourite. So it's not like, you know, he was playing Alcaraz or Sinner or whatever. He was favourite for them, lost 5 of them. And the players that he lost to, I'm just going to say who they were. Aslan Karatsev, Fabian Marijan, Soon Woo Kwon, John Isner, Lloyd Harris. They're some of the losses. And with all due respect to some of them, Boo is certainly worthy of being mentioned alongside them. That's for sure. He needs to do well here, Boo, because I said he was unlucky to lose in Hangzhou, but he made the semi-finals in Hangzhou, made the semi-finals here in Beijing. That's quite a lot of points that's going to come off if he loses this match. I'm not going to bet him to win the match because, you know, De Minaur will probably grind it out. I'm not totally convinced that he will, but I suspect De Minaur will probably grind it out in the end. But, you know, the style that he plays, De Minaur, you know, he has to put his full energy into matches, otherwise he's not winning. It's because of the style that he plays. And Fritz, who was another fortunate one to win today, final set tiebreak against Diallo in a match that he probably didn't deserve to win. He mentioned after that, he said, look, it's very difficult to come here with the time zone, and he mentioned the energy that you get in Laver Cup with, you know, the captains on the side and the team atmosphere and everyone getting sort of riled up and stuff. He said it's very difficult to come back to this tour, different time zone, just you're a bit flat. And if De Minaur's flat here, he's going to struggle, I think, against an opponent who is desperate to win this match. So plus 130 with Bet Rivers about Boo winning a set. That's plus 1.5 sets. I think that's the way to go here. It'd be disappointing if he loses in straight sets to De Minaur in these circumstances, which are very favourable for him.
Is that an official play as well?
Yeah, I think it's good value. Yeah.
Wow. 2 bets, 2 matches, 2 bets, 2 official plays.
Got to attack the Asian swing. It's not worked so far, but we've just been really unlucky so far. It's not going to last.
Well, we'll be adding to the official plays at the halfway mark here, which means I prompt you to sign up to our newsletter. If you like what you hear on these shows, please sign up for more content at the bettingweeklystudios.com to get Monday's newsletter and Friday's Insider. So tomorrow the Insider will be delivered to your inbox through our subscribers at bettingweeklystudios.com. It's free and it's well worth a subscription. Okay, let's move on to our penultimate match. An interesting match as far as the betting is concerned. It's Corentin Moutet up against Tallon Griekspoor. Moutet is playing some great stuff at the moment. Reached the semi-finals last week in Hangzhou, but must have been absolutely exhausted after his run at the Davis Cup as well, where he was in sensational form. He's up against Tallon Griekspoor, who is on a bad slump at the moment. I think he's lost his last 6 matches. Hasn't had a win since Borstad in July. This time around, though, Tallon Griekspoor is the underdog. He's plus 118. Corentin Moutet minus 148. Spread is 1.5. Total is 22.5. But again, this is another one with a quietly convincing head-to-head. Griekspoor leads 3-0, including one of their challenger matches back in 2018. And he did win their last match in Mallorca this year on the grass, 7-5, 7-6 in the final. Moutet's had a good run, though. He's playing some good stuff, probably playing his best stuff of his career. He's up to just outside the top 32 in the world rankings. And it's his highest ranking Is it enough to make him a minus 148 favourite here, though? Not sure about that. What do you think?
I'm not sure about that either. I'm tempted here with Tallon Griekspoor. Very tempted. I just think it's not a great matchup for Corentin Moutet against the big hitter, the big server, aggressive, powerful. He doesn't often go well against those sort of players, Moutet. If we look at their head-to-head, it's 3-0 to Griekspoor. One of those matches, Moutet claimed he was sick. So I'm assuming it's the 6-2, 6-1 that he lost. I'm guessing it's that one. But if we're just looking at the bare stats, the head-to-head in terms of service points won and return points won, it was 110 to 90 in favour of Tallon Griekspoor. Griekspoor holding serve 93% of the time, which is obviously excellent. Griekspoor doing very, very well on return as well. 41% of return points won, which is very, very high for Griekspoor. Returning is not the best part of his game, but Moutet doesn't have the biggest of serves, and Griekspoor's been able to capitalise on that. Even if we just isolate the last match in Mallorca, I know it was on grass, but Moutet only winning 28% of return points. He's just not done anything on that Griekspoor serve so far in his career. And Griekspoor was minus $2 for that match, 1.5 in decimal, minus $2 to win in Mallorca. Now he's plus 118, and this is all because of the form. You know, Moutet's been in great form. Griekspoor, a series of losses. But for me, Moutet does struggle against, as I said, big serving, aggressive types of players. If you look at what he's done against those types, he's lost 8 of his last 9 completed matches against the big servers in my database. And the one win he did have was in a deciding set on clay against Gabriel Diallo. And if we just isolate outdoor hard only against the same group of players, he's 2 wins, 5 losses on this surface. So the jury is certainly out as far as Moutet is concerned when he's facing these big serving aggressive guys. And there's, you know, last week in Hangzhou as well, he was beaten by Royer, who's got a very, very aggressive game. Goes for everything, Royer. Royer beat him pretty comfortably that day after he was fortunate to get past star man Echeverry, who retired. 6-3, 6-2 to Royer. That again, I would class Royer as the type of player similar-ish to Griekspoor, not identical, obviously, but both go for it, both very aggressive types of players, and obviously Moutet would probably have lost to Echeverry as well had Echeverry not got injured after the end of the first set. And he's played a lot of tennis in recent weeks. That Davis Cup, as I said, was huge for him on the clay. A lot of energy, mental energy, emotional energy expended there. So Griekspoor certainly, you would think, would be fresher in terms of his legs. My only worry is, how fresh is he mentally? That's the only thing. The thing that puts me off here is the fact that Griekspoor could just say, look, I can't be bothered with the rest of this season. I'm done here. I need a reset. Things aren't happening. Whatever. If he does that, then that's a problem. But it's going to have to go down as a lean, just because I'm a little worried that he might do that. But I would certainly be tempted. If I was betting this match, I would 100% be betting Griekspoor at plus 118.
And the match starts at 2 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, so plenty of time to get across to the Bet Rivers website. If you do have a bet, you will be able to live stream it. Now, I just got to say to you, if you can hear noise in the background, it's not a drill being drilled. This is Sean's new dog having a little kip, having a sleep. I can hear it. I can hear her snoring. You said it was loud. I didn't realise it was going to be that loud.
This isn't even loud. This is. I'll just wake her up so she doesn't do it. Hang on.
No, you're right. Don't do that. She's okay.
This is average. She snores a lot louder than that sometimes.
Oh, very, very loud. Anyway, let's move on to I think we were thinking.
It does sound a bit like a pneumatic drill in the distance, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Our final match is probably the most. It's the most closely bet match, where Bet Rivers are trying to find it hard just to find a favourite, and it's the favourite. Shang is the favourite, minus 117 in his match against Arthur Cazaux. Spread is a half, but obviously when it's a close match like that, the half is pretty irrelevant. It's the money line where it's very solid. Total here is 22.5. We have one match to go by previously, but Zhang won their only meeting. It was in 2023 in Atlanta, but Zhang has been out for a long time, 6 months through injury. He returned in Toronto, hadn't had a win since Chengdu last week, and then he got beat by Nakashima in the round of 16. But I watched that match, and he should have done better than he had the chances to beat Nakashima.
That was another robbery. Should have won the first set, shouldn't he?
Especially in set number one, he should have won that. But Zhang has been bet, -117. He's a Chinaman in China. We like to get with the local players in these kind of events. It's going to mean much more to him than Arthur Cazaux, who is -106 in this match. Cazaux's come through qualifying, though. 2 wins, 2 decent wins. And obviously played last week in Hangzhou as well. I think it's right. If Zhang is fit and he can roll back the form we saw before the injury, I think he wins this fairly comfortably.
Well, I was going to go for Shang because he was plus money when I wrote this. He's been bet here, or the line has been corrected, or whatever, which is annoying. It does happen sometimes, particularly in the Asian swing when the time zones are a bit all over the place. Yeah, we're certainly heading towards Zhang at plus money. Not quite so keen at -117, but I mean that price can change pretty quickly. If you do get a little bit of plus money, Gabe's Love 30 down or something like that, then that would be definitely interesting. He's
the dogs getting louder.
I'll just
No, don't. You're right. I like it. Listen, we've had Steve Wish. He's got Randy Quails. He's got Cricket, the cat jumping all over the screen. Leave it. We're a channel that love pets. Steve Wish Petting Zoo's out. We love pets. So let us sleep.
This dog is unreal. I've never. All she does is sleep. She doesn't do anything else. It's like having it. It's a bit like Natasha said earlier. It's a bit like the reincarnation of my old cat Duchess, who used to literally just sit, and that's it. She didn't do anything at all. Under any circumstances, this dog's the same. It's very strange. Anyway, so what else? Jerry Shang. Yeah, he's. I mean, yeah, you said he's coming back from injury, massively motivated again. You would think, again, ranking points just come off because last year he won Chengdu, won the title there. So he's lost some points there. He won Chengdu, then he lost to Bu at this particular tournament, and then he lost to Alcaraz in Shanghai, which is not the greatest of draws. But his form in this part of the world is very, very good. I think he also did well in Hong Kong, didn't he, at the start of the year? I can't remember. That doesn't really count as the Asian swing. Although it is in Asia, it's not this time of the season, so it's slightly different. Beat Cazaux in that only career meeting, held serve 93% of the time in that encounter. He did save quite a few break points, though. If I can actually find it, which kind of tempers that down a bit. Yeah, I mean, saved 9 out of 10 break points that day, so take the 93% maybe with a little bit of a pinch of salt. But there is a question mark about Cazaux in terms of him against lefties. Shang obviously being a left-hander. Cazaux's lost 4 of his last 5 matches against top 100 ranked left-handers. So immediately the alarm bells will ring in when he was minus money. When I looked at this earlier, against the left-hander who's playing at home. And he was a little bit fortunate to get through qualies, you would say, Arthur Cazaux. A final set win against Coleman Wong. And then he got a retirement from Halis, who was a set-up in that match. I'm not entirely sure what happened to Halis there. Obviously some sort of injury, but had that injury not occurred, you would think that Halis was on his way to victory there. So a little bit fortunate to qualify. Again, the worry now that he's minus money, the worry now with Shang is the fitness element. Ability-wise, you'd probably still back him at -117, but the fitness is a concern. He hasn't played many matches, hasn't completed many matches since that injury that he's had. So, yeah, given the way the prices have moved, again, it's going to have to go down as a lean, but I would certainly be interested in Shang if he gets to plus money or round about evens.
Yeah, -117 is the price for Zhang. That match is 1:30 a.m. Tomorrow morning. There's also a tournament, obviously, in Tokyo as well, and all the odds are available on the BetRivers website and on the app. But we're looking at 4 matches over in Beijing. One thing I didn't mention, Sean, at the top of the show, we didn't mention the weather, the conditions. All good?
Yeah, it's going to be fine tomorrow, actually. 28 degrees, 28, 29, so pretty warm, pretty humid, as you would expect. Not much wind either, so it should be no rain in the forecast, so it should be a decent day for tennis tomorrow.
Yep, good day's action. Lots of content here on the Betting Weekly Studios YouTube channel. Betting Weekly Premier League will be dropping later on today. Betting Weekly Extra Time tomorrow. Myself and Sean will be back on Saturday, looking at the matches for Sunday over in Tokyo and in Beijing. And it's the Ryder Cup this weekend. And Simon Holden will be on Betting Weekly Live at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, previewing the Ryder Cup today and tomorrow. And as well as that, we have Betting Weekly, The Edge, our NFL show, Betting Weekly Hardball, and Betting Weekly Fast Break, headed by Doug Kazarian and our team of US handicappers covering all the sports for the weekend stateside as well. That's been it for Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. Please hit the subscribe button, as I said. If you would subscribe to the newsletter, do so at bettingweeklystudios.com. We have 2 official plays from Sean. What are the 2 official plays?
Yeah, I'm taking on the guys from Laver Cup. What? I have no idea. I've never heard.
He agrees with you.
I've never heard a bar
He agrees with you.
now. I don't know what.
She agrees with you.
I don't know what's gone on there. That's absolutely bizarre. So Sonego, Lorenzo Sonego to win set 1 at plus 265 at Bet Rivers against Alexander Zverev coming from Laver Cup. Another guy coming from Laver Cup, taking him on as well. Minaur, the guys that actually have come from Laver Cup that I can think of. Rude, Fritz, both drop sets coming from Laver Cup. It's not an easy thing to do. So Yunchaokete to win a set against Alex de Minaur, plus 1.5 sets, plus 130 with Bet Rivers.
They're the official picks. We have leans as well, all here on Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. Have a good day, and hopefully we catch some tickets, and we'll be back on Saturday to preview more action on the ATP in Tokyo and Beijing. Take care.